It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today. You have arrived on a Monday, and as usual, we are making it a metal Monday, especially today because we're going back to music by Black Sabbath, and I am happy that you are with me. This will be my 9th video to feature music by Black Sabbath, but I've only heard one other song from the album that we are going to hear, and we are going to hear the title track, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath, from their 5th album. It was released 50 years ago this year in 1973. I have only heard the one other song, though, from this album, and that was Spiral Architect, which I heard back in August of 2021 in episode number 198. So I am relatively unfamiliar with this album, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. Spiral Architect is the last song on the album, and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath starts us off. So, a little bit of background here. The band had been on a pretty extensive world tour in support of their album Volume 4, and upon the tour's completion, they gathered in Los Angeles to start writing the next album. But they were fatigued from the tour. They were taking quite a lot of drugs at the time, and this led to a dry spell for new material for the band, especially from main songwriter and guitarist Tony Iommi. So the band went back home. They returned to the UK, and they ended up renting Clearwell Castle to again try working on the next album. And when Tony improvised and came up with the main riff for what would become the album's title track, the entire band was invigorated with renewed confidence, and off they went, and they ended up finishing work on the new album. I find it especially interesting that the recording was done at Morgan Studios, which was just north of London. And this was done at the exact same time and place that Yes was recording Tales from Topographic Oceans. So since I have that album cover, that's why that's out in the back. They even had Rick Wakeman come over and be a session musician on one of the tracks. Pretty cool, right? So we've got Ozzy Osbourne on the vocals, Tony Iommi is on the guitars, Geezer Butler is on the bass, and Bill Ward is on the drums and percussion. And like so many of these songs, there is a shorter single edit, and the version on the album is longer. So I'm going to go with the version on the album. So here is Black Sabbath with Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Off we go. Heavy. Flat 6, flat 7, 1. Nice. They're in C sharp minor. It's high. It's a high vocal. He's on the C sharp. That's a high C sharp from Ozzy as he goes back down to the G sharp, which is the 5th of the key. Different feel for the chorus. It's resolving to the major key, relative major E, so that's F sharp minor. Beautiful, actually. Up to the F sharp. To the B. Is that going to be 5 to E? No, it's subtonic to C sharp. Right. Riff. Based in pentatonic minor. Boy, that riff is all over the verses, aren't they? 4 times in a row, 4 straight times, and it goes straight to the chorus. Nobody will ever let you know when you ask the reasons why. They just tell you that you're on your own. And they fill your head with lies. Lies. Bastards. Right. Should be a spot for a guitar solo, and I hear it, but it's a bit overshadowed in the mix by the rhythm, by the riff. The F sharp, the 4th chord. Cool. The relatively slow tempo, but that's the 5 to 1. It's not too fast, which allows the heaviness to seep into your bones. Tell us, Ozzy. Listen to the fuzz in the bass. The only time that they've used this riff in the entire song. It's like a new song. Nothing more to do. Living just for dying. Dying just for you. Just a big, expansive sound that this band has. Kind of going into a compound meter outro. It's on the 5 chord, and they're just extending that G sharp for a while. And it's going to fade out. Well, there you go. And you're off and running with this album. You know, maybe at some point in the future I'll do the entire album. Because I've just heard the first song and the last song now. So now that I've got those tent poles, maybe I can hear the whole rest of the thing and be on my way. The lyrics were something that I really wanted to look into, because when I saw that this song's name is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, that reminds me of Sunday Bloody Sunday. I'm sure it takes inspiration from that cadence or that saying. But Geezer, the song's lyricist, has said that the song is about the experience as a member of the band, something that he called the Sabbath experience. So he's referring to the ups and downs, the good times and the bad times, the whole minutia of the business side of things, that it's away from the actual music, right? And in his words, it's a rant against everyone who was trying to cash in on the backs of the band members themselves, including the critics who weren't giving them, in their opinion, their just due, their lawyers, their representation, the record companies, all this sort of stuff, right? They were just sort of like in a bind with how they were dealing with all of that extra outside the music sort of stuff. And they tell you here in the lyrics, nobody will ever let you know when you ask the reasons why. They just tell you that you're on your own and fill your head all full of lies. That's the choruses. But it's time after time of them just, especially that outro, y'all. Where can you run to? What more can you do? No more tomorrow. Life is killing you. And then at the very end, God knows, as your dog knows, Bog Blast all of you. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, nothing more to do, living just for dying and dying just for all of you. They're feeling like they're being used, I think, as artists. And that can happen sometimes. You know, music is a tough business to be in, because we get into music because we love the way the music makes us feel. And then we have to be able to separate how it makes us feel with actually working within it as a job, right? And so you end up recreating sometimes where you work, and the lines between work and play become frayed, and it can mess with you a little bit. I understand, I think, the point of view here. Like I said, I was originally thinking that the song's title could have religious connotation within the words of the use of the word Sabbath, but I think, I think he's referring to the band members themselves and the way that they felt in that instance. And boy, that riff lasts, right? It's right in pentatonic minor, that's C sharp minor, and it's really sturdy and powerful. And I really enjoyed that tune, y'all. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Always great to get back to music by Black Sabbath. Thanks, y'all, for being with me today, and we will see you next time on another edition of The Daily Doug.